Hey, welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm Andy, and we have special guests here with us today, Dan and Steve. They are the coaches at the Greencastle Antrim High School Bocce team. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing good.
Doing excellent. Thank you
Good.
so much. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Liz, one of our sales consultants, actually reached out to us and mentioned possibly getting out to you guys and talking to you. And the goal was to get on with you before you guys went to recently. You were at the state championships. Is that what it was?
Regionals, yeah.
Regionals. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but schedules just kind of conflicted. But we have you here now, and that's important. That's what's important. Before we get started on the interview, I'd just like to say the interview today is brought to you by Lizzie's. If you've never been to Lizzie's, you need to get out there. They have some of the best food around, not just in Pennsylvania, but I'd say probably in the tri-state. But make sure you leave plenty of room because you're going to want more. So, have you guys been to Lizzie's?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they're great. So let's get started here. So first of all, what I want to do is congratulate you guys on your Mid-Penn South District Championship win. And congratulations on making it to regionals. Unfortunately, you guys did not make it past regionals, which is fine. You guys made it that far. That's a big accomplishment. Congratulations on that. Tell everybody that's unfamiliar with the sport what exactly bocce is.
Good. All right. Okay, I'll talk. Yeah, so bocce is actually really unique to the high school sport arena. In the last about 5 to 7 years, it really kicked off into the scene. Bocce is actually, it's called a unified sport. And so bocce is Special Olympics partnered with ESPN about a decade ago to create a grant for high schools to enter into the unified sport. What is unified sports? Unified sports is that half the team is made up with our Special Olympic athletes. These are students who are identified as life skills, can be in an autistic support classroom, and the other half of the team is made up of regular ed students. And the beautiful thing about unified sports is that we bring Special Olympics in with our athletic community, and we partner them together. And so with unified sports, where it's really just that, it's building and breaking down barriers so that we can unify our school and just create a healthy, supportive atmosphere. What bocce is a ancient sport. I believe it was started in ancient Rome, and many people played in their backyards, and it's played around the world actually. But there are basically two teams. Both teams have 4 sets of larger balls, and you can play outdoor, and they're really heavy and hard. And what we do is indoor bocce, so they're kind of heavy but soft. And then you have a smaller ball, one ball, and it's called the palina. And the object is to go back and forth for the most part, and whoever is closest to the palina at the end can get 1, 2, 3, or 4 points, depending on how many balls you have within the closeness of the palina. And so it's a really cool sport in the fact that all 4 of the athletes that are out there, whether they're learning life skills or Special Olympic athletes or regular ed athletes, you don't know who's going to be the best player on the team, who's going to make the game-winning throw. It really levels the playing field, and that's just really a cool atmosphere. And it just opens the door for relationships to be built, for camaraderie, for teamwork, for communication. And it's been a really cool experience for Steve and I over the last 5 years as we were lucky enough to begin coaching this program and partnering with these students on every aspect of it. So
That's very cool.
Sometimes just let me go.
Oh, no, you're good. No, that's what I love it. I love it. So I recognize the sport for the very first time. I've seen it played on the beach. It seems to be a popular beach activity. You see a lot of people playing it. And when I was a kid, I was wondering, what are they doing? And my grandparents played it a lot when they came to the beach with us too. So I kind of had a little bit of a background introduced to it there. I'd say kind of like a shuffleboard, right? Without the stick. Yeah, you're just kind of rolling it.
Yeah, curling action in there. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good idea. That's a good reference too. So with I actually talked to a Washington County coach for the Unified Bocce team at Boonesboro. Her name's Candy. Maybe a couple months ago, and she's mentioned. Do you guys have Washington County has a Best Buddies program? Do you guys have that at Greencastle Antrim? Kind of like the same deal with the unified sports. It's just an activity based, like after school type thing. Do you guys have any of that for your high school?
not necessarily for high school. We do have a Big Buddies program where our high school students will go and partner with elementary students. We're starting a new program for middle school and high school. I would say those are the two programs that are similar to a buddy program, but nothing that's directly high school
Gotcha.
relationship building.
I was lucky enough to be part of that Best Buddies program when I was in high school way long time ago. We won't say when I graduated. But I wish they would have had unified sports because I definitely would have participated. It wasn't a thing yet when I was back. That just shows you. You said 5 to 7 years, so past that. But I love it.
It's one of the best experiences out there for everybody involved. Me, Dan, the kids, the community. There's a lot of people that travel to our games. There's a lot of people up at Juniata that day when we were there. But yeah, it's just something these kids, the whole entire school stood in the hallway last Tuesday and let our guys walk through. And
that's cool.
A couple of our players were like, "Why'd they do that?" Like, they did that for you guys.
That's right.
Yeah, they're recognizing you.
They've never had that feeling.
Yeah.
So that's where, we really, our community, our school community really gets behind these guys.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
That is very cool. So Steve, you had mentioned the regional tournament in Juniata that you guys last weekend, right?
Yeah, last
you guys
Tuesday,
participated. How excited were your kids to participate in the regional tournament? It was an all-day tournament, right?
It was. So we went up, left here about 7:38. Went up. They fed us lunch, so the kids, they just stayed together and ate lunch with each other. And then we had 3 bocce matches and the ride home, and it's just creating memories. They were more excited the time before districts where we won. A couple of our guys broke down and just, it was so overwhelming for them to know that this accomplishment is theirs now.
Yeah.
And
very cool. They
asked to go up and get the bracket paper. So that's housed back here in our place now. And
awesome.
they're just, it was something else. So we did make it to States a couple years ago. That would have been a really cool experience for them because that's an overnight event.
Oh, okay.
And kids get to stay there, but maybe next year.
Hey, there's always next year. That's what I told Liz when she told me that you guys unfortunately got knocked out in the regionals. I said, well, with how much you talked them up here and how good you said they were, they'll probably make it back next year and they'll go further.
They're hoping. We return a lot of kids next year. So
good.
Fingers crossed.
Cool. So do you guys have any background in coaching at all before you started coaching on the bocce team?
I've coached 24 years here as a freshman football coach.
Okay.
And then various community stuff that we do.
Yeah.
Dan.
I've coached a little bit in like youth soccer and basketball over the years. That's primarily my coaching experience.
Good old youth soccer. I'm currently coaching youth soccer. What age did you coach?
I actually coached U15 last year, but U12 and U8 as the kids grow and stuff like that. But
I'm currently doing U7, so it's ages 5 to 7.
Oh my!
My daughter plays. Well, both my daughters play, but I coach my oldest daughter's team, so it's for her. It's more of a, Dad, can we go home yet? Dad, is it time to leave yet? I was like, I'm trying to coach your team. Can we go ask Mom? And but it's a fun experience. Definitely fun. So Steve, you said you coached a little bit of football. Are you into college football, pro football?
We do. I'm a big Penn State fan. Most a lot of people around here.
Do you think Carter will go? Do you think Carter will go high in the draft?
I think he'll go number 2.
You do, even with the injuries that he's disclosed.
But I think once he gets that, that's true. But
I think every player probably has some kind of ailment at this point in their life.
And of course, we're Steeler fans, so there's that news around here now that's been reverberating through the school today.
That's a big move. That's
a big move.
I actually talked about that a little bit on Friday. I've been kind of hitting the NFL news in other parts of the show, and I was going down through possible places Metcalf could land, and I said the Steelers would kind of make sense.
It would.
And I don't hate it. Like that.
That's my $150 million though. But
but it's that he was looking for the deal, so they were willing to give it. So I'm hearing Aaron Rodgers rumblings now too.
I'm going to burn all my Steelers stuff. I can't.
Let's not do that. Let's not do
So
that.
you'd rather have Russ or Fields?
I'd rather go 7-10.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first.
With Aaron Rodgers, but
I don't disagree with you. I wouldn't want him on my team right now either.
I know.
Maybe back when he was in his prime, but not right now.
Right.
So back to the focus on the Bocce here. Sorry, I was getting all on tangent there.
We do too.
That's okay. So what exactly do you guys have any type of involvement in any other Special Olympics activities or clubs outside of the school, or is it just strictly within the high school for you guys?
It's strictly with the high school with me. Some of our kids go out in the Franklin County Special Olympics and do things.
We have actually, I believe it was because of COVID, we do our GA Special Olympics in the spring, and so it's all in house, and they've done a really good job. And because I'm at the high school as a counselor, I do get to I make sure all of our bocce athletes are part of that day, but then I also partner with the elementary school to just get all the support for the students. And then that's always just such a great day. It's out in the Kaylee Fields here at Greencastle. And I mean, probably have about 40 student volunteers who are out there participating, helping time the student athletes. And so that's kind of a small part that we do, but it's really just about our athletes at that point.
Exactly. So how long have you guys been coaching on the bocce team?
We've both been at it since the inception, so this is our 5th year.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And we've grown as coaches because that first year was bad. We didn't have any idea what really unified bocce was. We played it in the sand, and it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
well, I mean, every sport's going to be like that. That's brand new too. Flag football's going through it right now in Washington County. So yeah, and it's good to see. I mean, if any example of how well a new sport works out in any region or county in any state, you guys setting a good example, because you guys are succeeding, your kids are having fun, and that's the most important part, is having fun and they enjoy
really
it.
All around Pennsylvania, it's grown. I think when we first started in COVID, there might have been 100 teams in the state, and now there's close to 480.
Wow.
Teams throughout the 501 school districts. So it's growing. And there's unified track that we're looking at. There's there's all kind of unified flag football, but I don't think we have enough to do that here, but we're looking into unified track.
Okay.
And maybe growing that.
That was one of my next questions. Were there any other unified sports in the works? Track would be I think would be a perfect
track would be awesome.
Other unified sport. And you got indoor and outdoor, so they can do two seasons technically in a year. So that would be great. So with coaching on the bocce team for the past 5 years, you said, what's one of your favorite moments so far of being a coach on the bocce team? I hate to put you on the spot.
Well, when we had the state run a couple years ago, there was our first match in districts that we were down a couple points and had to have a throw that scored us 2 or 3 points, and we did, and then just kept rolling from there. And if it wasn't for that throw, that season would have ended.
Yeah.
And then it just kept rolling from there. That was one of my favorite moments, because the kids really understood. They got what they were there for. And it was
awesome.
Then there was another state throw in our first game that Jimmy Bebis a couple years ago. He had a throw, and the crowd went nuts. Even people that weren't Greencastle people.
Yeah.
It was.
And
that's always, when it's a special moment, when everybody's cheering, regardless of the team.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's just so cool when it could be any one of your athletes, it doesn't, and they put it in there and you just don't ever see where it's coming from, but you can just see the excitement on their face, and that's the best part. So there's definitely a couple of those big moments.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And there's usually 10 or 12 a year that just catches your eye and go, man, I can't believe he pulled that throw out. Or, it's, if I could have done this before I coached football, I don't know if I would have coached football. I mean, that's the thing. It is just so, it's so different than any other travel ball, or I might get myself in trouble for all this, but Little League or anything like that. It's just so different because these kids, all they want to do is play.
Right.
They don't.
They want to be. They just want to be like every other person.
Be like everybody else. They want to play. They don't care who's here. They just want to. They don't want to care who's coaching. They don't. There's no playing time. Issues. There's no. It's just pure joy and pure fun for these kids.
Yeah, it's
and
wonderful.
Our athletes and our partners are the same way.
Yep.
I mean, we've had partners in the past that have said, this is a little more, she played softball a couple years ago, and she was like, this is more stressful being on a bocce court than it was throwing in a softball game. And
I can imagine the pressure on some of the situations. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, guys, it has been a pleasure to have you on here today. You guys are doing great things over there at Greencastle, along with everybody else. Keep up the hard work. Keep up the good work. And we'll have to have you back on here. When is the season officially over? When does it begin again? Is it a fall sport technically?
It's technically a winter sport.
A winter sport. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have you on as we approach the winter season. We can talk a little bit about your season coming up.
We'll get you out here to see a game.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That would be awesome. Yes.
Yeah, we'll send you a schedule.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Have a good one, guys.
I appreciate it, Andy.